Well, hello. Welcome to the stream. So, Dragon, you're still at work. Got a deployment soon. Fantastic. How's everyone doing? It's Friday the 13th here in Australia. So, let's see how this goes. All right. Sorry about the late start, but had a really cool meeting that I was just in. Anyway, let's get into this and talk about what we're going to have a look at today. So we're continuing on yet again with this Iceland moss exploration that we're doing. So let's have a look at where we're at right at the moment with this code. So basically, we have a look at this here. We've got our layout going. It's pretty much as we'd expect. Sort of can go through. I can select different items here. I can navigate in. We've got add to cart button. I think the next part for this is to actually go and have a look at the shopping cart. Hey Piers, how you doing? Good morning. Let me see if I can bring this video up here, so we can sort of step through what we're trying to achieve. All right, so we've got kind of like this first part going. Hi Tim, how you doing? Good morning. It's good morning here in Australia. Like I said, it's Friday the 13th. So we've got this part here going. We've got this section here. I think the bit we want to tackle next is we want to go and have a look at the shopping cart. So basically bringing our shopping cart up here and having our various items in the shopping cart. And basically we'll do this layout here. And that's probably going to mean we're going to do some MVVM stuff here. So we need a bit of data behind us in order to do this. So a little bit of MVVM action. Yeah, nice to see you, Tim. Beautiful. All right, cool. So let's, as I normally do in these streams, let's start off by getting a few items that we want to get done today. All right. So first of all, I suppose what we want is we want our we want to work on the shopping cart, and so to do that, we're going to have to do our shopping cart view models. MVVM, which is never my favorite thing. Actually, I do love MVVM. It's just maybe I'm not very good at it. So any advice as we go through is always greatly appreciated. So we've got our shopping cart view models. So that's going to require that we have like a product and a quantity inside of there that we're ordering. There's actually two places that we can order things from in this particular application. So if I sort of switch or have a look here, there's kind of two places, right? So the first place is from this main screen. In the main screen, what the user can do is they can go and they can tap on this button here, and it's going to add it up into their shopping cart. Okay, so that's one way that we can do it. So the user can just quickly come around, tap on these buttons, add it into the shopping cart. The other place that we can do it is if we're actually looking at a product like this one here, they can tap these buttons, okay, and then add it to the cart. Okay, so that's what we have. We've got a little bit of business logic going on in here as well. For example, if we have a look at the shopping cart, there's this delivery item inside of here. Right, so we say delivery if it's more than $80, or sorry, if it's less than $80, then it's going to have $15 delivery. Otherwise, it's not going to have any delivery. So a little bit of business logic in there as well. So let me bring this back up here. Let's have a look. So for a shopping cart view model, we want the product, we want the quantity. We need to deal with freight charges. Of course, we've got to do our UI design, which is mostly what I focus on. Interesting design choice to open the shopping cart as soon as you hit the add to cart button. Yeah, I hear you there, Dragon. It is an interesting choice. It's probably probably not one that I would do, you know. So add to cart sort of brings it up. So you know where I'm going to tie this to? I'm going to originally sort of start off and I'm going to tie it up to this button here, right? So there's a shopping cart button. And so what we'll do is we'll pop up the screen there, I think. And then we'll deal with the animations a little bit later on of actually, you know, using that same screen from in the product details. So yeah. All right, cool. So, so what do we got here? We've got shopping cart. Let's start off with that. Then we have the UI design. The UI design for this one, we'll get into it later on, but we'll probably use something like a collection view inside of here. Yeah, that'll probably do us. All right. So let's duck back to our code here and sort of see the state of things. For those of you who are wondering as well, I should definitely call this out. This design is you know, not my design. So it's not my fault. It's over here at Dribble. So on a Friday, that's what we like to do. We like to go ahead and see if we can replicate UIs. My code for this is in GitHub. There we are. So Iceland Moss. So if you want to contribute, you want to you know, check out the code, feel free to do so. All right. Now, where should we start? I suppose we should start with view models, right? That kind of makes a little bit of sense to me. So as we have some things to display. So we're going to have view models here. At the moment, what we have is we've got a product view model, which describes a product. Okay, so we've got name, image, price. We've got some other things inside of here, like some of the information about the actual item itself. So that's our product. But I'd suggest what we want is we want to have like a view model for a shopping cart item. So I'm going to go and create myself a new class here. And we'll call this something imaginative like shopping cart item. All right, and it's going to be a view model, so we're going to use an observable object. And add in our MVVM helpers. All right, so for a shopping cart item, I think what we really have inside of here is we're going to have a product. All right, so we're going to have a product view model, and we'll call this our product. So we'll have a getter and a setter for that bad boy. We also need an order count as well. So let's create a count inside of here. What else do we need? We probably need to display a total in a nice, easy to use fashion. So I'm going to just put this in here. I'm going to say, let's add a total, right? And so that's the total for this line because you can order, you know, 3 of the same product essentially. And I think we'll just make this a getter. So this would basically just go and return our product price times by the count. Right, so I think it should probably do us for a shopping cart item. Now, of course, the shopping cart consists of lots of different items, of course. So I think we probably want to have ourselves a shopping cart class as well. Shopping cart view model. All right, let's create that bad boy. So a shopping cart view model is going to have, I think, a list of products in it. Sort of kind of makes sense to me. So I'll make this an observable object. Okay, and we'll add in our references into there. Who's implemented a shopping cart before in a mobile application? It's not really something I've done much of. So, you know, if you can see I'm doing things wrong, let me know. We got any tips? But I'm just thinking a shopping cart consists of a list. Because you have, but it was terrible. A dragon not for real apps, but fake ones. Hi, Lewis. Let's code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
All right. So, and it's R2. So you can't argue with him. How you doing, R2? It's Friday 13th for you as well. All right. So we're going to have a list of shopping cart items. All right. And we'll just call these our items. Yep. Seems reasonable. Ah, look at this. There's a link here from Piers. What's this one? Shopping cart. Ah, with the Microsoft recommendations. Beautiful. All right, that's a good one to have. I may be referencing that as we go through today. All right, so we've got our list of shopping carts. So let's add a constructor in here. So what I like to do is I like to expose the properties in iList, but it's going to be an observable collection. So I'll say my items equals a new observable collection, of shopping cart item. Yeah, of shopping cart items. So that seems about right to me. First of all, I need to add in observable collection. So the advantage of observable collection is that if we add something to it, it's going to raise change notifications, which is going to be useful for us because it means when we add it into the shopping cart, it means that we can then basically update our little badge, which shows how many things are in the shopping cart. All right. What else do we need? I feel there's a bunch of other things that we might need as well inside of here, but I can't think what they are right at the moment. That's sort of our basic. Maybe what we want is things like totals as well. But let's wait. Let's just try adding a few things to a shopping cart. So with this application, I've got myself a main view model. Okay. So in my main view model, I'll go ahead and I'll put a shopping cart inside of there. So we're going to select a product. Let's go and also add in a shopping cart view model. So this is our shopping cart. Beautiful. Oops, I'm running. All right, seems reasonable. And then perhaps in our constructor, we go ahead, we create all of these products because we're not reading them from a database, but we'll say our shopping cart equals a new shopping cart view model. Cool. All right. So maybe we've got enough already to start dealing with the shopping cart because we've got a collection that we can add things into, which is pretty cool. All right. So why don't we just do this on the main page to start off with? Let's just see if we can get things added into the shopping cart and see if we can go and update our display. All right, so let's have a look at what we have here. Let me go ahead and run this up, and then what we can do is we can play around with the little shopping cart indicator. Yeah, where's our application? Here it comes. All right, so we're on a little indicator up in this corner here. That's what our design's all about. So let's let's go ahead, have a look at where we've got our basket icon in here. And why don't we go ahead and just put an icon in there to begin with. So the icon itself, let's have a look at this this video here. Let's have a look at what it looks like. Okay, it's just a little circle with a number in it. Hey, President. Welcome, El Presidente. All right. So a little round thing. So we could use a box view. Probably gonna use pancake view actually. Let's try that. Let's just add a pancake in here. We love pancakes. And we'll come in here after our basket icon. Let's go and add a pancake. Gracias. Okay. So let's do this. Let's say we have a pancake. Now at the moment, this is just an absolute layout. I don't love absolute layouts, but given the amount of sort of animation of different elements that we have inside of there, it's probably not a bad idea. So with this one here, let's sort of move it across a little bit. We've got to work on the responsiveness of this. So this, what I'm hoping here is we're going to create a little circle. So let's say I make that like 14 high. I give this a corner radius of, say, 7. Let's have a background color of black. Okay, because a little black indicator. So that's sort of lined up with this one here, just a little bit smaller and a little bit offset as well. President says he's forgotten everything he's learned about absolute layouts. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. All right, cool. So we got a little dot there. That's where we want that to appear. We need to have the reason I used a pancake is because then I can put some content inside of it. Because what we want is we want a label inside of here, which is going to show our actual text, right? So let's just put in a text of 1 here for the moment. We'll put it in the center horizontally. Let's put it in the center vertically as well. We want the text color to be equal to white. And we want a pretty small font in here. I don't know how small. Let's just jam a number in, see how it goes. Oh, there we are. That's not too bad, right? Surprisingly good, actually. All right. So we've so we can put our numbers in there. We can say, hey, I want, I've got 3 in my shopping cart. Okay, that works for me. Now what we could do is instead we could bind this, right? We could say, let's bind this, because we added the shopping cart into our main view model, and that's what we're using here. So we'll say, from our main view model, let's use shopping cart.items.count. And we get 0. Beautiful. All right. So we've got 0 items in our shopping cart. Now, what we want to do is we want to be able to add things in, right? But that gives us a pretty good starting point. Okay, so the way that we can add it in, we'll tie it in off this screen here to begin with, so I don't have to step through multiple screens. So the idea is that when somebody hits this button here, it's going to take this product and it's going to increment that by 1. So we should have 1 as we go in there, and likewise, we hit it, smash it multiple times, we end up with lots of things. Okay, so what we need to do then, let's have a look at the layout of our flex here. Get that out of the way for a second. We've got our product display. Okay, so we've got a tap gesture recognizer at the moment, right, on the control, which means it's not, hot reload breaks when I do this. It's basically not going to be able to distinguish between anywhere I tap on that particular control. So we're probably going to have to do something like raise events from that control to whether they've selected on the actual item or whether they've selected the little plus sign. So what I mean by that is we should be doing a different thing. So Dragon says, so for your count you're binding to the shopping cart items count, is there a reason you didn't create a property in the view model like item count instead? Well, probably I will, right? Because well, here's a question for you, right? When you add something to a shopping cart, let's say I add this sky blue here multiple times, right? Oops. If I add that multiple times, should it appear as like 2 in my shopping cart or 1 in my shopping cart? I think it should be like 2. Get rid of my little drawing pen here. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's go to Amazon. I would say 2. Yeah, I'd say 2 as well. So let's go to Amazon. It's going to be really risky because you can see the kind of things that I order here. Coffee things, Sonoses. Let's have a look for, what is this thing? Christmas moss. I think it's what it's called, or it's Norwegian moss. No, that's not it. I'm going to completely break my, what's it called? It's called, it had a name. Reindeer moss? Yeah, reindeer moss. Who knew reindeer moss was a thing? All right, so let's say I ordered a bucket of Dusty Rose reindeer moss. And I said I want to order 2 of these. What's it going to display? Is it going to display 1 or 2 up here? Well, let's order 6 of them. And I'll add this to my cart. Yeah, it shows 6. Yeah, okay. So it's showing 6 here, which is, and what that means, yeah, it's expensive for reindeer moss. I gotta, hang on a second. I have to go into my shopping cart and I have to remove this. I have to delete this so I don't accidentally order it. Yeah, accidentally clicks checkout, sends out reindeer moss as presents. Okay, so in that case, Dragon, I think you're right, actually. You know why? Because if I click sky blue here and I add that multiple times, it's gonna be 1 shopping cart item with like a count of 2, right? Yeah, so I can't actually bind to the shotgun items count because that's going to be 1. So I think you're right. I think I need a total quantity in there. Yep, I agree. Let's just leave it there for the moment because what I want to do first of all is I want to just check out getting something added in there and just getting this either displaying or not displaying, and then we'll refactor it. Because I think there's some other complexities as well that we're going to have to deal with. For example, if we have a look at the sample here, right? What I'm imagining for this screen here is this here is going to be a collection view, right? And 2 of these things are products, right? This is kind of a product as well, but it's not actually a product, right? It's kind of like an extra. So delivery for 15, right? And so I suppose what, 2 approaches I could use here. I could have a collection view. Oops, I could have a collection view, which is just that. And this is outside of the collection view, but I think probably you'd want, when you get lots of things in shopping cart, you'd want that whole thing to be able to scroll back and forth. So we're probably going to also have to have in our shopping cart non-products, which would be interesting. So, you know, we'll make some changes as we go through. All right. Cool. Now, where were we? We were talking about the fact that so Dragon, you say it would normally call delivery a product that is not able to be removed. Yeah, but I don't want it to appear on my list. So, and I don't have a way of distinguishing that. I suppose I could have a is visible product. But I kind of just think of it as like a cart item, maybe. Anyway, we'll have a look. I'm thinking actually what we probably end up with, right, is like this is a collection of shopping cart items, right, that all implement like an interface of like iCart, right? So they can all go into the shopping cart, but this is technically not a product and it has its own business logic. And then we use something like a data template selector to decide how we render it, because it's rendered a bit different as well. That's kind of how I'm thinking we can probably do this. Anyway, first things first, we're going to be add something to our shopping cart, right? Now, in order to do that, yeah, we don't distinguish between this button here and that one there. So we need a tap gesture recognizer on that bad boy. But in our main view here, our main page, we actually have this as an extra control, right? So we've pulled this out into a control. So, so I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to do something like get that control to expose events. Like, did I click on the main part or did I click on the plus sign? So, so let's see if we can get that working. So there's going to be a little bit of code inside of here. All right, cool. So let's go and have a look at that. Can't even remember what it's called. It's product display. Yep, it's a product display. Cool. So let's just get it to raise events. I don't know. That seems like a reasonable way of going. Let's collapse a few of these that we don't need. Okay. All right. I can never write events. So I think we got the event keyword and you stick an event handler in here. So we'll have an add to cart clicked. And we'll have another event handler for event handler, which is like the product clicked. All right, seems reasonable. All right, and then what we want to do is we want to put some gesture recognizers in this bad boy here. We probably already have some. Actually, no, we probably don't already have some, because we're doing it from the containing controls. So present use actions and functions. Yeah, I don't really know. Oh, reactive extensions. Yeah. Let's see if this works. All right. So the first thing we got was we got our pancake view. That's like the container for the whole thing. So we're going to want to put in a gesture recognizer for that, because that's the full container. And then we'll put another one in just for the button. So we'll put in tap gesture recognizer and we'll say tapped equals, and we'll create a new event for that. So I want this to be renamed something different. So call this tap product gesture recognizer. Yeah, so I'm not really sure the pros and cons of using actions and functions. It's a bit too C-sharpy for me. But how I've always done it in the past is like I can say, okay, well, I've got this handler here. And so for this one, it's like product clicked, for example. And then I can say if I've got that handler and if it's not equal to null, then I go and invoke that message, that event, with just a new event args, because I'm not really passing anything through here. All right. So let's see if that works. Because like I said, I'm not awesome at this. Too C-sharpy. No such thing. Okay, so we got that. So what we should be able to do now is we should be able to say instead of this, I now have a property, sorry, an event here that I should be able to wire up to. So I should be able to say product clicked and create an event handler. And in fact, it's the same event handler as this. Tap gesture recognizer tapped. So I could actually just, I think I could just use that one, right? Couldn't I? It's a terrible name. Let's see if that works. Because now we got rid of that. So if this actually navigates to the product, then we've successfully basically put that event being raised from the control. And what do you know? It works. Awesome. All right, that's a good start. Good start. So now what we'll do is we'll put another one in for our, where we've got our little add button. All right, should we do it on the label or in the box view? Let's put it on the label to start with. Okay, tap add product gesture recognizer. It's a terrible name. But if we come in here, let's do this. Same deal, right? We'll say event handler equals, what do we call it? Add to cart clicked. That was our event. If that's someone subscribed to that, invoke this message and say, yeah, let's give it a new event args. And then back on our main page, we should be able to say, what was it? Add to cart clicked, create a new event handler. All right, cool. And then if all goes well, here we want to write some code to add a shopping cart open. Dethex. Can this be compiled for iOS as well? Yeah, it can. So this is Xamarin.Forms application. So, so it'll definitely compile. for iOS, you'll notice that there's an Android project, there's an iOS project. But actually where I'm doing all the code is not in any of the platforms. I'm doing it in this .NET Standard library, right? So all of the business logic stays there. The only thing I'd actually ever put into my, I just realized my head's in front of this. The only thing that I would put inside of the Android or the iOS projects is anything that's platform specific. Now, having said that, just because you write it in your .NET Standard library doesn't mean that everything's going to work amazingly. I need to test it in iOS, of course, which I haven't been doing because I haven't had my Mac up and running. So I'm just working on Android at the moment. So you might find if you were to check out the code in iOS, it might be a complete mess at the moment. But before we finish this challenge, we will make sure that, in fact, I'm going to add a comment in here. I'm not going to order any more moss to do. We probably won't do it today. iPad OS. Damn. Test on iPhone, iOS. And Rock Lane says we should do, I don't think I'm going to do Mac. Mac OS. iPad OS. We could, but look, this design, and remember, that's what I kind of try and do here is the designs. It's not really designed for a desktop or an iPad app, so we'll stick that with iPhone at the moment. Okay. The other thing I wanted to add in there as well, because I'm pretty sure test on different size devices. Because I'm pretty sure it's not going to work on different devices at the moment. Normally it pretty much would, but because I'm using absolute layouts, I suspect it probably won't. Okay, so here's where we go and we add a shopping cart item. Now, I just want to check that this is actually getting called first. But what we should be able to do is we should be able to get the view model. Let me just remind myself how we have our view model at the moment. Okay, so I don't have it in there. Instead, our view model, I think, is getting set up here in XAML. We got our main view model. So it's the binding context. So I should be able to do something like main view model is dot binding context dot shopping cart dot add dot items dot add a new shopping cart item and what do we have for a shopping cart item? What's the sender going to be? Good question. What is the sender going to be? Because we want to know the actual selected item, right? So is it going to be the question is it going to be the selected item? I think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be a selected product is going to be a product display, right? Because that's where it's coming from. Element, which is going to be a sender as a product display. All right. And the actual item itself is going to be the binding context for that. So our product view model is going to be our element binding context. Our item is going to be equal to element. This is where binding gets tricky. It's going to be the binding context element dot so I could do sender as a visual element binding, but wouldn't we? What's a product display here? Yeah, I suppose we could, right? But I would have thought we could say element dot binding context, right, as a product view model. What do you reckon? And that should give us the product view model. Yeah, so Dragon says that's what I normally do when I need to get the target of a tap event in a list. Yeah. Okay. So then we can go and add it here. There's probably a little bit of additional logic in here, but let's just go and add a new shopping cart item, right? Just to get it started. And we can even say for this, what do we call it? The product equals our item. Oops. All right, but I think this code here is going to have some more logic in it, because if we talked about this a moment ago, if I select the plus button multiple times, even though there's only one shopping cart item, the count should be multiple. So yeah, that's probably going to be a little bit special. But for the moment, let's just see if we can get the UI appearing and disappearing. All right. My machine's running terrible. It must be Friday 13th. Let's give this a little run. Okay, we click in this main section. Yep, we navigate to the product. Beautiful. Click on this one. Oh.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh how amazing you'll be.
That was a bit loud, wasn't it? Hey, musical bookworm. Thanks for the follow. What a neato handle. Welcome. Put a little comment in here. Thanks for the follow. Wonderful, appreciate it. Okay, so we're just trying to get this working, but that's not detecting it. So let's have a look at why that is the case. In fact, what I'm going to do in our product display item, it should be.
Today we're gonna code lots.
Oh, Zohek.
Kim Philpotts, and oh
Zovek.
how amazing you'll be.
Fantastic. Where's my. Sovek. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Beautiful. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's put a breakpoint here and here. So if I click here, yeah, it goes into the tap product, which is what I'd expect. If we go back out of here and I click on this one, I also get tap product. Why is that? What is this magic that's happening? Asferoth.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Phil.
Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. For those of you who have Twitch Prime, remember you can subscribe to one person. It doesn't cost you anything. But appreciate it very much. It makes no difference for me where you subscribe from. Awesome. Now, here's the question. Why is this not getting called? Tap add product gesture recognize it doesn't exist? Serious? Yeah, I don't believe you. There it is right there. All right. I wonder whether what's the cause of this? This is up in my pancake view. It's like it's not detecting this one. Oh, hang on. Here, let's have a look at what this grid has in it. Here's something I get bitten by all the time. All right, so we've got these like 4 elements inside of here. All right, so we've got, if I bring this over here, I've got the background. Well, I can't put input transparent because then it won't get it. Right, so I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this. I got a stack layout inside of here as well, which is doing that. I've got the image, which is sitting down here. So lots of elements inside of here. Here's something I get caught with all the time. And that has, like when I have a grid, right? So the thing to know about this grid is that all of these elements here are kind of just sitting in the one cell because I'm just using the grid as a container. What I'm wondering, because I don't think this will work, right? So I know what you're saying. Input transparent, right? If I set that to true, that means that this won't get inputs, but that's actually not what I want because I do want inputs on that. I think what I want, I think cascade input transparent just passes it down the chain though, right? Any child also has input transparent. What I think the issue is, and I could be wrong, I have been many, many times, is that because these are all in the same cell, actually what I would want is I'd want input transparent here. Let's see if this works. So input transparent here is true, and we'll cascade it, right? And possibly for this one as well, except I don't need the cascade because it doesn't have any children. Did I do it for the stack layout? Yes, I did. Let's see if that fixes the issue. This is the kind of thing in UI that can you can burn days on. Yeah, that was it. So now it's actually calling onto this. Oh, and look. Up here, it's actually updating our number here. Awesome. Now, the problem is that if I click this multiple times, oh no, it is adding it multiple times. Why is it adding it multiple times? Oh, because I'm just literally just jamming in the same product multiple times. Yeah, right. So if I have a look at, my main page, yeah, here, when I click this item, if we have a look at what the shopping cart contains, it's got like, that's a blue moss.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Hey, it's Rambling Geek. How you doing, Rambling Geek? So for those of you who don't know, Rambling Geek is one of the live coders. So big shout out. And I'm not sure if you've been here before, Rambling Geek. What we do in this stream here on a Friday is we're developing mobile applications. We're developing Xamarin.Forms apps. And in our case, what we're trying to do is we basically take a design from Dribble and we replicate it in Xamarin.Forms, which means that it's cross-platform and then it runs on iOS and Android and wherever else you want it as well. So there's basically a design that we're going through and we're implementing that. And right at the moment, what we're doing is basically getting our shopping cart working here. This wasn't in a big old breakpoint. Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, we're basically adding it in as a new product every time, which is probably not what we want. Instead, we want to increment it, right? Because if we have a look at our shopping cart, where we eventually want to be, we don't want to show like 3 lavenders. We just want to say 3 times. So we want a quantity. So we want to increment the quantity essentially. Okay, which is cool. We can do that. We can do that. So instead of doing all this logic here, why don't we do this logic perhaps somewhere else? What do you think? Maybe we will do this in, maybe we'll just call down to the shopping cart. Let's do this. Let's say add, oh, sorry, our binding context. Hey, Rambling Geek. Have you been, oh, no, you haven't been streaming. I know where you've been. You haven't been streaming at all. Okay, I want to go to my view model. Main view model, this binding context dot shopping carts. And so instead of just adding it directly in here, let's do this. Let's call a method here on our shopping cart, and we'll say, for example, we want to increment the order of a particular item. Right, so in our case, it is our item. Okay, so we'll go and we'll implement this method here. And this is going to be interesting because what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find out whether that item exists already in the shopping cart. Yeah, no worries, Rambling Geek. Yeah, so go and grab some sleep. And yeah, we'll have some fun here. Don't worry about that. Join in next time. Absolutely. But yeah, thanks for the follow, man. Okie dokie. So what are we doing here? We want to call out to our shopping cart, which is a shopping cart view model. Let's go to this method here. Okay, so our logic for this is going to have to be something like find out if the product is already in the shopping cart. If it is, increment the count, the order count for it. Otherwise, add the item to the shopping cart. With a quantity of 1. All right, that kind of makes sense. What do you reckon? Sure, why not? Okay, so let's do this. Let's get our item first of all. So this is going to equal to I'm going to have to say, well, let's just say find item. Item, right? Because the other thing as well, we're passing in a product view model here. This contains shopping cart items. So find our item, we'll say if, let's create that method. This is going to return a shopping cart item. We're looking at it based on a product view model. Yeah. Can't call it item. Oh yeah, can't call that item. Absolutely. So what we want to do, this is where link fails me all the time. I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna do a for loop, right? Or for each. And it goes through for each item in the items. How many times can I use the word item? Let's call this item to find. So if the item dot product is equal to the item to find, then we just return that item, right? Or we return that item. Otherwise, otherwise nothing. And then we'll return null. So is link going to fix this for me? Yeah, okay. Select item. Yeah. Here's who prefers to use link for this sort of stuff? Dragon, you do. I always use link. You know why I don't use link? Well, actually, I don't like that format of link. I don't like that one either. Because that's the comment of the day from R2AU, because I'm an animal. Yeah. To me, like I'm just old and grumpy, I think, right? And I prefer to read it like this as I step through. I really do. I have trouble reading link. And I know that R2AU, you're a massive fan of LinkPad, so of course you like link. Look, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter. Let's leave it there for a moment, because I think we're gonna have to do some additional logic, because I think what we really need to do is we need to go through these items here, because we're gonna have things that are not products in here. So let me leave it like that, and then you can yell at me later on. So what we're going to do is we want to say if our found item is not equal to null, then we want to say found item dot count plus plus. Otherwise, we want to create a new cart item, for example. What is that? Equals new, shopping cart item. Please yell at me. So we'll create a new shopping cart item, and it's going to have a product, which is going to equal to our item. And we're going to have a count equal to 1. Sure, sounds reasonable. Okay, and so then we just say, hey, let's go and increment that. Let's see if it works. So I should get I could do the Dragon says I could do the entire method in one line of link. Well, I could, but I could never read it again. That's the problem. Or I couldn't debug it as well. Debugging's my big bugbear. Random question. Yawn69 has a random question. It's not that random. What do I think about Blazor for Xamarin? Lol. I haven't done enough Blazor. I want to do some Blazor. I also want to play around with as well. But I don't really know. Does anyone else been playing around with Blazor? Just while we're here, like R2AU says that link is quite declarative and can improve readability. And then he just sent like a, oh, I can't do your emote. And then he sent like this little smug cat. Okay, so Yawn69, yeah, I'm loving it for web apps, but not for Xamarin. Yeah, I don't. What would Blazor give you? Does it give you? It gives you WebAssembly? I don't know. Yeah, I kind of think for Xamarin, I'll just stick with Xamarin. All right, let's try this out. So I hit the plus sign. That was the worst bit of code ever, wasn't it? What's going on there? So I created a cart item and I didn't add it to the shopping cart. Take two.
And you fail.
Oh, no, it's not what I want to do. I've totally broken that one, haven't I? Because that logic doesn't make sense anymore. Right? Because I'm saying if it's not equal to null, do that, but then I just go ahead and create the cart item anyway.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim, Phil Potson. Oh, how amazing.
Thanks, Nutweed. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. All Alrighty. So I think that's the way it should be, right? If I did find it, increment the count. If I couldn't find it, add it to a shopping cart with a quantity of 1. Done. Beautiful. Shopping carts, hey? Turns out they're not that easy to implement. And I think we haven't even hit any edge cases yet. Okay, so we hit plus, we get 1 in our shopping cart. Okay, so we've only got 1 item, but hopefully, let's put a breakpoint here. Hopefully we've got 1 item with a quantity of lots. So we have a shopping cart item, yes, with our product and a count of 21. Lovely. But if I was to hit this one, I would now have 2 shopping items. Because it wouldn't find the item. And then it would add it. Awesome. Let's just test that out. Yeah, let's have a look at our items. Yep, we just got 2. Our first one has lots. Great. Our second one has just 1. It's about to have 2. Great. Okay, so that's good. That shopping cart is appearing there. I like that. The other thing we probably want to do here as well is the shopping cart should only appear when there is something in the shopping cart. I think we should be able to do this with a trigger. What do you think? Let's see if Kim can remember how to write a trigger. Let me run this up because a trigger is all declarative, right? So we should be able to... It's all in XAML. So we should be able to actually just do it here. Okay, so I got 0 items in here. So let's write a trigger. So I think I'm going to go pancake view dot triggers. I'm going to have a data trigger. And this is going to... So it's basically going to look at a value from my view model and then use some setters. So I'll basically set it invisible or visible based on whether there's anything in the shopping cart. So first we have a binding. This is the data item it's going to look at. Yeah, triggers confuse me as well. I don't use them enough. Actually, behaviors is what I don't use enough of. So let's have a look at, here's the idea, right? We say, I got a data trigger. Okay. Reconnection successful. Yeah, that's weird. We're back. Yeah, so hit refresh if you're not back. So that must mean Twitch had a hiccup, right? Because we still had chat going. So it wasn't my internet. Oh well, whatever. Okay, so I don't know how long I was offline there for, but this is what we're doing. We're saying data trigger, I'm binding to the count of items. I'm going to affect the pancake view. When it has a value of 0, I'm going to set a property is visible to false. Otherwise, it'll have its default value, which is true. I think that's it. All right, so we've got our item here. If I add something to it, yeah, breakpoints. It appears. Could be your workplace. It looks like it's streaming okay again. So maybe it just needs to pick up this, get better. Okay, cool. So let's try that out. Again, we'll just run it up. It should originally appear with nothing in the shopping cart. Okay, so we don't shift refresh. So we have nothing in here. Beautiful. Hit the plus, and then our one appears. Great. Now, of course, we got no way of of clearing anything out of this here. So I think that's the basics of our shopping cart. Seems reasonable to me. Maybe what we'll do now is let's get this button here to open up our page, and we'll design the page. So that is this page here. So when we hit that button, we'll bring this page up. It's like money-making idea. Don't let people take it off. Well, I don't want that, because otherwise I'd be ordering a whole bunch of like reindeer moss from Amazon. Nobody wants that. Okay, let's think about this page here. This page is going to be popped up from various places. So we'll put it as a control. What do we got? We got order details. We got this here. How are we going to do this, people? We could use images. We could use scare sharp, right? I'm assuming that what happens, or what the intention of it is, I probably won't implement this, but when you hit the checkout button, you move to the second step, right? And then that one becomes little again. So, and then we got dotty lines over here. I can do this in scare sharp. I know I can do this in scare sharp. It's probably the right tool for the job. A very custom control. I could use a grid. Yeah, Dragon. I could use a grid that was like this. Totally agree. Like that. But then I would probably have to have images. Yeah. And I assume it animates. So, you know what? What do you think? Scare sharp? Sure. Okay. Pancake. Collection view. Do you think here's a question for your idea of the design here. I would assume that the delivery is inside the collection view. What do you think? And then you could scroll, you know, because if you're like me and you're ordering lots of different things, you probably want to change that. So the last item in the list, yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. I like it. So let's get stuck into that page. But you know what? I've been streaming for a while. I need a quick bio break. So let me put on a timer for a few minutes, if that's okay. Go and grab yourself some lunch. No, not some lunch. Go and have a bio break. Have a stretch. And yeah, the usual rule: if you leave, you get banned. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
All right, we're back. There's a link. I think that's the one you're talking about, Dragon. No, it's not. That's a different one. It's in the same series though. Anyway. Cool. All right, so what are we doing? We're adding in this page. We're adding this page here. Let's go and create ourselves a new control. We want to create ourselves a content page. We'll call this like our shopping cart popover. I don't like the word popover, but I've used it, so I'm going to stick with it. All right. Get rid of the stack layout. Nobody likes the stack layout. Get rid of these content page.contents. Nobody likes them either. You don't need them. Deployment time. Good luck, Dragon.
Victory.
Hopefully you have victory. So, yeah, hop back on. We'll probably still, depending on how your deployment goes, we might still be here.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
And thanks for the follow, J. Philly Webb. Appreciate it. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. We've got a page here. We want this page to appear. Let's do this. Let's say back in our our main page, when we click our basket icon, this is an image button. Oh, it's a button. Cool. Clicked. Let's go to our definition. Or actually, what we'll do, because this is a popover, I'm going to add this in to my main page XAML. So I'm going to put this down the bottom here. Let's do this. So this is going to be our shopping. Did I not save it? I didn't save it. Hang on. Controls. I didn't put it in the controls. Where is it? Where did it go? Shopping cart popover. Should be there. Let's just see what that does. Call this cart popover. And for the moment, let's just say cart popover dot is visible equals true. And the reason why I want to do that is then we can get the shopping cart open. We can actually go and design it visually. Whoopsie. Specified cast is not valid. Wacky do. What is that? Then our height. Why on earth did that fail? Let's have a look at our main page here. Shopping cart popover. Oh, did I add a page? This doesn't want to be a page. This wants to be a content view. Let's see if we can change this from being a content page to a content view just by changing this. Should be able to. Let's see if that fixes it. Cool. Now, nothing's being displayed there, but that's probably because it doesn't have a back. Let's, if I put a background color of yellow in here. Yeah, there it is there. Beautiful. All right, so it is actually there. We just aren't displaying anything. So let's have a look at the design, see what we're going to do here. I think a good old grid is probably what we want. We've got a grid with some white background. How many rows? I think we'll have a row here. Possibly a row for this. And then all of that stuff. All right, so let's create that that layout. Okay, so we'll have a grid. We'll have a background color of white. We'll give this 3 rows. So we'll say a row definition. The first height. Let's just set that to auto to begin with. And the second one we'll put in as auto as well. And then the third one is going to be star. All right, cool. All right, so what do we want here? We want in the bottom section, probably like a, let's just see if we can get this here. We'll say a box view on grid row 2. We'll give this a background color of, let's come to our design here and have a look at what color this is. Okay, grab that color. Okay, they're autos, so okay, so that's probably why it's taking up the full screen. Anyway, let's put in a corner radius of say 30, 30, 0, 0. Give it some angled corners at the top. It's a little bit smaller than our other one, so let's make that 40, 40. Okay. In our, let's go and add in in our first section here, we probably want to have like an image button because we're going to have back arrow. So I'm going to just steal that from our product display popover for the moment, because we've got this back button here. I'll put that in grid row zilch. Okay, it's a white arrow. So let's give this a slight background color here. Okay, so we have it there. We'll recolor that puppy in a moment, but that's our back button. Okay, now in the next section, we want to have a stack layout in grid row 1. Okay, so it's going to be in here. We're going to have a label, which is going to be order details. Okay, cool. We want to apply some styling to that. I think we had a style already set up. Header font light. Beautiful. Order details. Maybe for this stack layout here, what we want is we want to have a little bit of padding as well.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Philpotts, and oh how amazing you'll be.
Hey Dan Penner, welcome. Love your UI challenges. I'm pleased you enjoy them. They keep me off the streets on a Friday, you see. Here we are. All right, welcome. So you know what we're doing? We're basically trying to munch together some UI here. We're just getting this order details screen, so we'll have that here. Now the next bit that we want is we want to have fact, I'll bring up this design here. Right. So this is what we want. Our next section here is going to be this bit here. I think we'll go with Skier Sharp for that to render that piece out. And that will go basically there. And then we'll have our shopping cart. We'll have a collection view and some items. Great. All right, let's flesh out the majority of the page here. Let's not worry about that so much for the moment. But let's go and add in a grid here for our bottom section. So this will be in grid row 2. Stick a margin in there. I probably should make that margin a resource or a constant so we can do that. And we'll have some rows in here. Row definition. Okay. So this is going to be all the stuff in the bottom section. So if we come back to our thing here, I think what we'll have is we'll have a row for this. We'll have a row for this. We'll have a row for that. And then a row for that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Autos and star, I think. Okay. So first one is going to be auto. Second one is going to be star, and the other two are going to be autos. Okay, now we can probably steal a button here as well from our product display popover. Right down the bottom, we got a similar button, which is not really a button, it's a pancake view. We can put that in here. So let's stick this guy here, and this is checkout button. Is that what's called? Checkout? Yeah, checkout. Okay, and this is actually a white button with some black text on it. And this is going to be in grid row 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is something interesting. So I've got mfractor installed. See here, mfractor is saying, hey, you put this in grid row 4, but you only have 3 grid rows. Really handy. Oh, we don't have pancake views in here. We don't have pancakes. Let's add pancakes. Everyone loves pancakes. Wowzers, that's a big button. It's a very, very big button. Zero, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Corner radius, we have a height of 60. Why so big? And maybe we want to sort of, I don't know, what we want to do here. Actually, I think this has just failed because it doesn't have the corner radius. I'm going to restart this. Nope. All right. 0, 1, 2, 3. What do we got? We got our shopping cart. Let's put this in. It's going to be in row 0. Sorry, oh, I know why. End of my grid there. This grid should be, yeah. There we are. That's better. Let's set our style to a body font medium. Whoop. Probably not. Maybe a header font. There we are. That's a little bit nicer. Let's give it a text color of white. Beautiful. All right. The next thing that we have is we're going to have a collection view. Grid row 1. Just kind of leave that there for the moment. Let's give it a background color of light green. Yep, cool. That's where we want it. And the other thing that we want in here is we want a label, which is our total. All right. So we got this here. I think what I'm going to... I'll wait until I fill these in. We'll just put the total there for the moment as some text. And then we'll fill this one in when we start filling in these items. So I'm going to put this in a grid. Grid.row equals 2. And we'll just put a label in here for the moment. Our text is going to be equal to total. Our style, static resource. Maybe a body font medium as well. And we'll say font size equal, I don't know, 20. Let's see what that looks like. And we probably want a little bit of padding around that, I'm guessing. Let's put some padding on the grid. We'll make this, let's put a margin in here. We'll say 0 to the left, 20 at the top and the bottom. I'm going to make this text equal to white. Cool. All right, we're starting to get there. What do you think? It's looking all right. We really need to put that in. But what we could do is we could put in our collection view with our shopping cart items. All right, let's try that. So we'll have an item source equal to shopping cart dot items. Do we have anything in our shopping cart yet? Oh, I haven't got that back button. How about I add some code in so I can go back and forth? And for the moment, because we're not going to do animations right at the moment, we'll just say this dot is visible equals false. Alrighty. Add one item in, or add two items in. Ah, cool. So they're there. All right, great. So our binding's working. We're getting our shopping cart item. But as you may be aware, if you don't actually give it a data template, it's just going to do a toString. But at least we know we have them there. Put this perhaps up here. Here we go. Okay, so let's design that cell. So we have our collection view. Inside of here, we're going to do something like collection view dot item template. We're going to have a data template inside of there, and all good things are made out of grids. So let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just put in label text equals, and we'll bind this to, I can't even remember what it's called. It's probably like product dot juice sold. Looks awesome. I work with .NET at work. My stuff doesn't look half as good. It's amazing what happens when you copy somebody's nice design. Product name. Nope. Oh. Cool. All right. Sky blue, green life. Add in really yellow sun. Great. So now we've got the three items in there. Beautiful. So now we just got to design the cell. Let's have a look. What do we want? We want all of these things to line up. The easiest way to make things line up is to use a grid, not a stack layout. So we'll say each of these will be a grid. It's going to have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. All right. And that one's actually a button to remove it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll make this, we'll probably make all of them fixed sizes except for this one, which will be a star size. All right, so let's see if we can do this. Grid dot column definitions. Column definition. Taxes. We got taxes. We don't pay tax in Australia. Actually, that's not true. We pay heaps of tax in Australia. In fact, I think we pay, we got one of the highest income taxes in the world, I think. Okay. Let's just throw some values in here. Just having a look at the layout here. So we'll have a column definition, which is for our image. We'll have a column definition, which is for our, how many are in the, what's the count, which is a little bit smaller. We're going to have some other column definitions as well. So the next one is going to be the next one is going to be the name. So that's going to be a star. It's going to take up all the space. And then we'll add these in there a little bit smaller. Okay, because what I want is I want that column to go basically there and there. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so start off with our name is going to be in grid row, grid column 0, 1, 2. Okay, that's good. In our first thing, we're going to have an image. The image source is going to be binding to the product dot image URL, maybe. Yep. Okay, that works for me. In the second column, we've got the number of items. So that's going to be a label which has a text binding to the count. Yep. But we want to do a string format on this bad boy, right? Because we want to say 1 times or 2 times. So we should say string format is going to be, how does it actually do it? It does 1 times 3 times. Okay, cool. So it'll be like element space X. Cool. 1 times, 2 times, 1 time. So if we go and order another couple of these, there we are. We now have 5 sky blues. Beautiful. Okay. Now, what's in our next one? It's the price of it. That's going to be interesting, actually, because we're going to have to do some code for that, I think, because if I go and have a look at the text of this and I say, let's bind it to the product, say it's price. Yeah. String format of $0. Okay. Okay, cool. So that's there. And then the last thing that we want is we want to have, let's just put a label in, which is our cross. And it's going to be in grid column 4. Great. All right, now with this, let's do some styling for all of this. So we've got our elements in there. I think I'm going to create a style right here. So resources, we'll add a resource dictionary, add a style. So x:\key is shopping cart item label. Which is for our label. And we'll say, have a setter for this. Probably, I don't know. Property, vertical options, value center. Let's just put this in to start with. And see if Visual Studio crashes on us. Come on, Visual Studio, you can do it.
It literally smells like burnt chocolate and failure.
Yep, you're back. All right, so let's assign those styles to these elements here. This is my favorite thing in the whole world to do. They're all text pieces. You watch this. I love this. It's like makes me a 4 times developer. Except I don't get, what did I call it? Shopping cart item label. Bet you that's not the right name. No, it is the right name. Beautiful. All right, so now let's style this puppy up. Let's say font color, text color is white. Beautiful. Let's what do we want to do? We want to, I kind of want to, can I do this? Just get our body font medium. Okay, cool. So that applied the font. All right, cool. So we're starting to get it there. Let's do this. Let's come down to our image and let's add a pancake view around it. And I think we'll have to actually set the size here. So I had a size of 64. So I'll say a pancake view, the horizontal options of center, vertical options of center, a height request of 64, a width request of 64. And we'll put this around our image. It's probably not going to do much because I haven't given it a background color. So I have a background color of this, which is going to be bound to our product.hero color. Booyah! All right.
Excellent.
And we will give it a corner radius of 10. All right. Now we need to add some spacing in between these puppies as well. A margin, maybe, on the grid. Margin at the top. And margin at the bottom, maybe. Top, left, top, right, bottom. Okay, cool. That's spaced it out. Love it. Let's get rid of that lime green. Okay, we're starting to get them in place there. Now, let's have a look back at our design here, see what we want. We probably want, just in terms of alignment, we probably want that right aligned. We want a bit of margin in between these things, I think. So we have that one right aligned. This one will want to be right aligned as well. So horizontal options end. Great. That one will be the start. We'll make this one horizontal. Oops, horizontal options. End as well. Just put a bit of extra space in here, I think. Put that one in the center. Wonder if that one should go in the center, maybe. Yeah, it kind of looks nicer. All right. What else we got? We've got, well, we got our images offset here. So we could do that. Let's do that. That shouldn't be too hard. We should just be able to say like a translation X of 10 and a translation Y. 10. Maybe a bit more. Too much. Too much. You know what? Maybe 10. Maybe 10 is the right number. Looks a bit weird with that one there. Maybe we should give it a shadow. But now... rid of that. Is that going to do bad things or not? Doesn't make any difference at all. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Let's say, let's undo that. Just give us a bit of room for the shadow. Yeah, I don't love the shadow. Yeah, let's get rid of the shadow. All right, cool. So we've kind of got the basics here. Wowzers. Can I access a disposed object? Oh. No idea what that was. All right. What's next? Where are we up to? We've got the basics of our shopping cart. Where should we go next? Do you want to do, should we add in the freight or should we do a bit of skier sharp and render up that top control? Add 3 things into our cart. Okay. We also need to do the totals here as well. Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we, just because I love doing ski sharp, let's do a bit of ski sharp in here for this, bit here. Shouldn't be too bad. It's basically got, a few circles and a couple of lines. We'll put that in first, into there. All right, let's do that. Ski sharp. Okay, so what do I need to do first? I need to go ahead and add in a NuGet package. Xamarin.Forms. I think I'm gonna have to look up the references for ski sharp. I can never quite remember how to do it. Is that music too loud for people? Okay, let's add the namespace in for ski sharp. Ski sharp forms. Beautiful. Music fine. Beautiful. Thanks, Zoid. Okay, so we want our ski sharp here underneath. Excuse me, underneath our label. So we'll say skier canvas view. We'll give it a height request, I think, because that's probably a good idea. Otherwise, it's sort of going to get a little bit big and out of control, probably. We want it to be horizontally fill. And we'll give it a paint surface method. Okay, so let's just check that that's in the right spot before we actually go and add in some painting code. This takes a lot longer to build once you include a NuGet. We need some hold music. It's my favorite hold music.
It's the hold music. Hold music.
What you doing, Visual Studio? Yeah, there we go. I'm just not patient enough. Wow, it's really taking a long time. Here we go. Now, the way I can test the position of this, as it loads, why so slow? So I'll just give it a background color. little bit light to see. Maybe that will be better. There we are. I think it's about where we want it. So that's good. So let's go and write our painting code. So I'll go into code to do this. If only there was a way to have it auto refresh as I change my code, but there isn't. So let's have a look at some docs here for a second. Let's go to Xamarin.Forms skier sharp. And steal a little bit of code here. So this is the code that I want to use. Okay. First of all, that's just to get the size of all of our stuff. Change that to args. Beautiful. We need to add in some usings. Great. All right, so let's have a look at what we want to do. We've basically got three circles, each at the end and the middle. We've got another circle around this one. This is a filled circle, and then we've got a couple of lines, and then we have to draw a dotted line as well. Skier Sharp has the ability to draw dotted lines, which is awesome. Okay, so let's just write some code. Actually, before I do that, let me just check the references for Skier Sharp and drawing circles. And parts. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's just canvas dot. Pretty sure if we just say canvas dot draw. Yeah, draw circle. So draw circle requires a point and a radius and a paint object. So first of all, let's create our paint object for our circles. So for that, oops, let me just have a look at the docs here for a second. Yep, okay, there we go. So we go SK paint. So this will be our circle, I suppose. So circle line equals a new SK paint. Actually, it's not a, let's call it circle paint. Okay, so we have a style here. So the style of this is going to be equal to paint style of just the stroke. So this is for the two outside ones. We have a color. Our color is going to come from our design. So it's this color here, I'm assuming. So we can say color from hex to SK color. Okay, so that will basically get a Xamarin.Forms color. Is that right? To SK color? Yeah. All right. We'll give it a stroke width. I don't know, 2 maybe. It's always good to do it in his anti-alias because otherwise it looks really jaggy. So we'll say, yep, set that to true. Okay, so that's our paint object. So now if we wanted to draw some circles, I could calculate the point for the first circle. So let's say we had, let's do it this way. Let's say we got a little bit of a margin that comes in here, right? So we're going to have a margin. Yeah, but basically our first point So new SK point. So we give it an X and a Y. So let's create a margin property. Actually, normally it deals with float, so we'll say float, and we'll give it a margin of I don't know, like 30 or something like that. Hey, Glenn Stevens.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Phil Potson. Oh, how amazing you'll be.
Welcome. We just, would you believe it? We're doing some skier sharp here. Everyone is amazing. So we want to, we basically want this first circle. You believe it? I love it. So we should just be able to say canvas, draw circle. And we should be able to draw that circle at that point. Circle. Using that brush. Why you not like that? What do you want from me? Oh, a radius. Okay, well let's stick in a radius here. So we'll make that like 15. There we are. And so we'll say draw it at that point, give it a radius of radius using that paintbrush. Awesome. Okay, so that's our first circle. So if we were to then go and, in fact, you know what? I'm going to get rid of this variable. I don't even need this variable. There we are. That'll do. So that's our first circle. Our second circle is going to be smack bang in the middle. So we'll say info.width divided by 2. And our third circle is going to be at info.width minus margin. All right, now, if I'm not mistaken, that should draw us 3 circles. A lot of code for 3 circles, but, you know. There we are. We have 3 circles. They're a little bit light, but they're basically in the, I don't know if people can see that, basically in the right spot, right? So there, and there. So let's thicken them up a little bit. Let's draw some lines in between them as well. All right. So we'll say give that a stroke width of 3, for example. All right. So we should be able to draw a line now. So canvas dot draw line between the first point, which is going to be, we want a bit of padding in here. So we'll call this like line padding. All right. So we'll say, let's draw this from the first point, which is going to be from, say, line padding. Our second point, so this is going to go to the, basically to the middle point. So info.width.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Phil Potson. Oh, how amazing you'll be.
It's a double follow. Gotta go, Deuceoid. Hey, well, thanks for joining us.
Today we're gonna
thanks for the follow.
lots with Mr. Kim Phil Potson. Oh, how amazing you'll be.
So, what have we got there? We've got Juiceoid. Excuse me, I got a cough now. And we also had JMW 5598. That's a catchy name. Love it. Beautiful. All right, let's see if we can get these lines going, hey? Out of here. All right. So the second one is going to be the info width divided by 2, which is a middle point, minus line padding divided by 2. Sound about right? Sure. And then we'll do it with the same paint object. So we'll say we'll do this with circle paint, which means, of course, means now that's got a terrible name. And if we, so that's our circle, our first line, our middle circle, our second line. So this one is going to go from, this one's going to go from info width to info width. I wonder if there's a center property. I'm getting sick of typing info dot width divided by 2. I could actually go and set a value, of course. Extension method time. Yeah, who's got time for extension methods? I actually thought it had one. No, apparently not. It's a good idea for, in fact, that's a good idea. Yeah. Center extension measure for an info or campus. And yeah, that could totally be a community contribution. Nice one. Nice one, Glenn. You're so community minded. All right. So we're drawing a line from the midpoint plus that to the info width minus the line padding. Now, I think that'll draw us our three circles and our 2 lines, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful. Look at that. Lovely jubbly. Okay. Now, if we look at our design, what else have we got going on here? It's a little bit more complex than that. We've got to draw a dotted line for the second one. We have to do that first one as a filled circle and then a bigger circle around it. But we can do that. We can do it, people. All right, let's do the filled circle first of all. So that's going to be a new paint object. All right, so I'll move this out of the way. We'll create a filled circle paint. And this time, all we're going to do is just say, hey, you know what? Instead of just the stroke, fill that puppy in as well. And then we just go ahead and we use that paint object on our circle. Beautiful. We also have to draw a bigger circle. So if we do that the same location, use our normal circle paint, but we'll double the radius. Let's see what that does. It could do bad things, I'm not sure. Okay, so now I got to go and check the skier sharp references because I know you can draw dotted lines. I just don't know how. Dots and dashes. There we are. A path effect class. Okay, path effect. Let's have a look at some code. Okay. Wowzers. I don't know what that did. Okay, so we should be able to create a dash. What are the two things for a dash? The intervals are an even number of... Okay, so that's how big a dash should be and how big a space should be. And the phase, which is the... I don't think we need anything for the phase. I think phase allows you to modify where it starts from. So let's do this. I'm going to put a bit of code there for a moment and we'll create ourselves another paint object and we'll call this dotted line paint. This will just be a stroke, but we're going to add in a path effect. skpath effect dot create dash new array of floats, and then I think what this is doing is it's basically saying this is how big a dash is. James Montemagno, how are you? Welcome, sir. I'm doing a bit of scare sharp. I'm creating dotted lines, dashed lines. I don't know if you've done that before. So if we use that dotted line paint for this one, it should be a dotted line. A skier noob. Skier is amazing. Skier is amazing. And for all the like gratuitous UIs that I do, it actually comes in pretty handy. I'm not sure you use it too much in business apps. All right, let's add a few things to our cart. You do new. Look at that. Oh, it needs a bit more padding in there. I think it needs to be a bit thicker as well. But look, there's our... That's not too bad. Our circles. Our diddy dotty lines. Could be worse. Could be worse. Could be a space in there as well. I think it's truncating a little bit there. And maybe we need to make the margin here a little bit bigger. But generally it's looking pretty good. All right, let's do this. Let's make our margin a little bit bigger. Let's draw that line. Info width divided by 2 minus the line padding divided by 2 plus, oops, plus the radius. Yep. And then from this one, this will be the line padding. In fact, you know what? We just shouldn't divide the line padding by 2. Yeah, There we are. I think that'll fix it, actually. And we increase the margin, so maybe it'll be all right. I don't know, did he? If there is a Skier Sharp REPL of some sort, because, you know, I actually looked around for one of those the other day. That'd be amazing if that existed. Because, yeah. Oops, hello. I don't think LinkPad does. What does LinkPad render out onto? I'm going to do a quick Google. Yeah, I know Ryan uses it all the time. And that's time for me to...
It's R2, so you can't argue with it.
Yeah, can't argue with R2. Okay, but that's pretty good. I think I'll go with that. Add a few more things to my shopping cart. All right. Now, in order to do this shopping cart a little better, we have to be able to remove things from the shopping cart. That would be a good start. I feel this font's wrong. Let me have a look at the shopping cart. Doop, doop, doop. Yeah, that's not right. Isn't that what I have? Oh, wait on. I think body font medium is not a... Is it? Body font medium. Does this not work? Can I not reference a style based on that? I probably can't. I have to do it based on, don't I? I think if I say based on static resource, body font medium, then get rid of that. That fix it? Yeah, there we go. That's nicer. Skier Sharp Fiddle. Oh no, why V is for Mac? Why do that to me? That looks great. Also on Windows? Oh my God. Oh my God. You've wow, this is going to save so much time in my my life. But how am I installing this? From code? Nope. IntelliSense. How cheeky. How cheeky. IntelliSense. All right. I'm going to bookmark that bad boy. Thanks, James. And maybe I can create a release and stick it in the GitHub. I'll do a pull. Can you do a pull request with a release? Sounds a bit weird. All right. Let's add in the ability to remove something from our shopping cart. That would be a nice idea. Yeah, definitely should. It is pretty rad. It'd just save me so much time. And anyone doing skier sharp. Okay, what am I doing here? I want to see how big this is. Yeah. Margin? No, not going to do it for me. Padding, maybe. Yeah, because I want a decent touch target on that puppy. All right, so let's put a padding there. Let's go and add a bit of a gesture recognizer. So that's how we roll. Now the question is, I'm going to ask this, and James is gonna, and Glenn, I'm pretty sure you're going to have some pretty firm opinions on this. Tap gesture recognizer with a click or a command? I think a command. Live your best life. It's like, you know what you need to do, right? Yeah. All right. I know what I need to do. Do I have a command? I don't have a command. No one cares. I don't know, James, you're here. You care. Be radical and bold. Click handler. Look, all right, I'm going to do it because you requested it, James. Well, actually, can I? No, I don't think I can. Because this is part of a collection view, right? Tapped as the event. Yeah. We're good with that. But what I want to be able to do is, once we add a few of these things to the shopping cart, you can do it. I want to tap on that bad boy and I want to remove it, but I need to know the selected item. Yeah. And so it's going to be easier for me to have a command and then bind it to this object, I think. All right. Let's try it. Let's do the command approach. That's what I'm going to do. Remove item command, maybe. Something like that. Ancestor type. Oh, beautiful. Relative source. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting actually, because I normally do it a slightly different way, but I'm willing to give that a go. So we'll have a setter, we'll have a getter, and then down here we'll say move item command is a new command which is going to accept a shopping cart item, and it's gonna go to remove item I something something. Just bind Xamarin.Forms into my view model because why not? All right, so now I should be able to say like, yeah, that would be nice to pass data into tab. I mean, I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's an easy way. So now I want to say shopping cart dot items dot remove I. Does that work for us? I don't know, something like that. All right, let's go and wire this puppy up then. So in my shopping cart, the command is binding to, I don't know, shopping. What did I even call it? What am I doing? All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the code that you have in here. In fact, yeah, why am I writing that at all? Let's see what James has. Source is a relative source. So the source is the parent view model. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be my view models. The path is, okay, let's break this across a few lines. So this is going to be my command. Oh, hang on a second. Bear with me for one moment. Sorry about that. All right, let's have a look at this command. I do kid pickup soon. Command. Okay, I can get rid of this one. So what you've given me here, James, is my command is binding to the source. It's the ancestor type is a type of view model. So in my case, it's going to be a main view model. And I don't have a namespace called VM, but we can put one of those in. So we can say XML NS VM equals view models. What do you reckon? Is that about it? Binding to this object. Yep. That's much better because you know what I would normally do? I would normally reference the page. I'd give the page a name, reference the page, and get its binding context. Yeah, it always felt weird to me, like just sort of reaching up to the parent page and getting its binding context. But anyway, let's see if it works. So James, are you streaming tomorrow? 2 p.m. which is 9 a.m. my time. Beautiful. Okay, let's get rid of the green life. I'll work on some new ASP.NET stuff. It did. It worked. Yeah, it works like a charm. Look at that. Collection view win. Better show something on an empty shopping cart. Let's add a few things in. Why does that not show 4x? Oh, I think that cell's too small. Okay. So we have 4 sky blues. Let's go order another yellow sun. Look at that. What is that? That's weird. Okay. Let's fix that issue. And then I might have to go because my wife tells me if I don't pick up our kids from school, I'm going to end up in big trouble. Nobody wants to get in trouble with my wife. Did I find a... Oh, what am I doing? There we are. That's better. Actually, that seems a little bit rubbish. No. Yeah, so did we find a solution to the staggered layout in the collection view? No nice icon for the X. Not at the moment. Like, I think I'm looking at the design that we're using here. It's kind of a nice X, but I feel like they kind of just gave up. I'd put a little myself. I'd put a little nice little thingy around it. You know what I mean. Yeah, so a staggered layout and a collection view. Not really. I mean, I have a staggered layout and a collection view here, right? So that's one. And the way that's implemented is actually not very nice because it's not a collection view. And that was okay for what I'm doing. James says there's an open feature request. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Alrighty, so let's have a look at where we are here, because I'm gonna have to go. So we can now add things to the shopping cart from here. Wow. We can also get an object disposed. Uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh. It's disposed of the fast renderer? It sounds buggy to me. All right, let's write some notes up here before we finish up. Let's have a look at stream diary. What's next? What do we do? We added this in. Okay. We did our UI design. We did a collection view. A few more things in here. Let's get a good back arrow. What else do we need? We need freight charges. What else do we got to do? We've got to have our shopping cart animation in. Oh, actually, that's... What did we learn? James showed me there is a thing called Skier Sharp Fiddle. Fantastic. All right. Shopping cart animation in. We need to be able to add items to cart from product details page. All right. We also need to... thought I had an item about this. Test in iOS. Yeah, that's going to be really important. And different size devices. All right, but that gives us something to start on with the next stream. Awesome. So I'm going to have to sign off. Like, I've got to go and do kid duty. But at least we've made some progress today. Make sure if you're around tomorrow at 2 p.m. What is that? CST? Go and join James. But I'm gonna go and try and find somebody Pacific. My apologies. And I'm gonna try and find somebody who is on at the moment. So see if we can raid. Which is always my least successful thing I can ever do. So what have we got? We've got the Alt F4 stream is on. Seeker Player is on. Coding VR web apps. Who wants to have a look at that? Should we join Seeker Player? Let's give that a go. All right, I'm trying to use this new UI that we have inside of Twitch. Very first thing that I need to do here is let me run some end credits. Let's see if I can do that. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to sign off. So thanks for hanging out. Have a fantastic weekend. It's Friday the 13th for a lot of people. No worries. Thanks, Darwin. Thanks, Deucefold, JMW 5598, Dana Penner, J Fellyweb, Dethex, Rambling Geek, Zovek, Musical Bookworm, and Aspharoth for the followers, for the subscribers. Well, okay, so let's go and raid Seeker Player, and say hi. And Tim, thanks as well. Alrighty, so let's see if I can successfully do this raid. All right, take care, and see you next time.